Hi, it's Richard Geller. Are you wondering what you should be focusing on? I've been doing a motivation training, and I got a note from one of our students, and I'll just read you briefly what he says, or she. There are about 5 different programs I've invested in to create additional income streams. All of them look great. I can't seem to make much progress on any of them. If I'm to focus on just one of them, how do I determine which one to focus on? And if I can work on 2 or more, what strategy should I employ to maximize my results? I have a full-time job. I work 50 to 60 hours per week. What is a realistic amount of time for me to expect of myself to devote to building my businesses on a weekly basis? Okay. I don't know your name, so I'll call you Tom. Tom, you can't focus on more than one thing at a time. If you're working on a job, what you should be doing is you should be focusing on just one business idea, just one. If you try to do 2, you'll probably fail. So I'd encourage you to just do one. Now you say that you've purchased 5 different programs and you're looking for an additional income stream, which is fantastic because in the times that we're coming into, it's essential that you have your own business because a lot of us are going to be losing our jobs. Unemployment is going to be much, much higher. We're entering the second leg of what's essentially a multi-year depression. The government won't tell you that, but that's the reality of it. I can prove it to you. So you need to have your own business. It's essential. So how do you know what to do? Well, let's simplify the matter. Let's simplify it. There's a very simple technique, and it's so simple that people just miss it entirely. And so what I'll explain to you like the process as in an example, then I'm going to tell you what the process is. And I use this all the time. It's been a transformation in my life, and I get a tremendous amount accomplished. When I go to meet with other entrepreneurs, they just can't believe how much I get done and how easily I get it done. And it's really not because I'm so wonderful or anything. It's just because I have a process that I follow. So here's what I would suggest you do. Let me get the example out of the way. Let's say that I'm going to be having a dinner party on Saturday night. Now, I love to cook and I do entertain a lot. And we have people come over, friends and family, and it's one of the things I enjoy about life. What I try to do is I try to first look at what kind of a reality that I have, and then I look at what outcome I want. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper. At the bottom of the piece of paper, you write your present reality. Now you do it in a non-judgmental way. You just write what you have going on. You work 60 hours a week. You have time in, say, evenings. You have some time weekends. Put the times down. Be specific. Maybe you have money. Maybe you don't. How much money you have, or maybe you have your debts. Write that out. Anything you think is relevant in the reality of what your current reality that might relate to the goal here. So if I'm doing the dinner party example, I'm going to say, well, I've got some time on Saturday. I've got maybe 4 or 5 hours. I have this food. I have a roast that I have in the freezer that I could defrost. I have some potatoes. I could go to the market. I'm not feeling very tired, so I can probably put some real effort into it so I can make something a little bit more complicated. So that's my reality. Write it down. Now, we've written down your present reality in a non-judgmental way. The good and the bad, everything. The next thing you do on the top of the piece of paper is you write down your desired outcome. In my case, I'd say, well, I'd like everybody to have a great time at the dinner party. I'd like to just have it all done in 4 or 5 hours and have a very stress-free time preparing the meal. And everybody say it's like some of the best meal they've had in a long time. That's what I would put as my desired outcome. So what's your desired outcome? A lot of times we don't actually reach a target because we don't actually have a target. So I want you to have a very specific target. Something that is very specific as a desired outcome. How much money you want to make, when you want to start making it. Okay, something that's not pie in the sky but is realistic. And use a time frame like 6 months. So I would say, here's my desired outcome 6 months from now. And I would write down how I wanted things to be, how much money I was making, how much time I was putting in, and all that. So now you've got at the bottom of the page your present reality. At the top of the page you have your desired outcome over 6 months. Now, write 5 steps, or fewer than 5, but no more than 5, to get from the bottom of the page to the top of the page, to get from your present reality to your desired outcome. 5 steps. So it might be, number 1, pick a course of action to take. Pick a particular business to start out. Number 2, go through that course thoroughly and make extensive notes. Number 3, open a bank account, get business cards printed up, go to a networking meeting. Number 4, do my first deal. I'm just making these up. But so you've got 5 steps. Now make sure that each step is concrete. Put a time frame on it. So you're going to say, well, realistically, I'm going to pick a course within the next week. I'm going to go through it thoroughly and make extensive notes within 3 weeks. And so you put a time frame on each of those 5 steps. And now what you do is simply start on that and start reviewing that plan, and then you can do what I call telescoping, where you take one of the steps that might be attend a networking meeting, and you make a plan of that. You start at the bottom of a page, a new piece of paper, and you say, my present reality is, the desired outcome is that I get 5 good leads from the networking meeting, from the meetup group I'm going to go to. And so you put the steps down required to get there. Business cards printed out, go to the meeting, make sure I talk to at least 5 people, and get their business cards, tell them what I do. So you've got a step on your major plan can create another plan that has its own steps. But I want to outline to you the important thing here. The important thing is that you're focused on something, that you have your reality, and that you have your desired outcome. And since you have a number of things to choose from, the first step would be picking one. And it'll be very easy to pick one when you have your present reality really spelled out. Because a lot of times your present reality will help you dictate the obvious direction that you should be going. In the case of my dinner party example, I'm obviously not going to take a dinner thing that's going to take 2 days to prepare, because I don't have that kind of time. I only have 4 or 5 hours. And I want a relaxing day preparing the meal. I don't want to be going crazy. So I'm not going to make anything that has 20 courses and lots of different sauces and complex kinds of dishes that you would see at a fine restaurant. I'm going to make something simpler. So a lot of times the course of action is obvious once you get your present reality down and you put the desired outcome. And by doing this, you're doing something that puts you in the 10% of the people who actually try to achieve a goal and actually reach a goal. You're writing the goal down. You're making a plan for it. Your plan is broken into steps. And if you want to even increase the likelihood of things working out, you'll tell other people about the steps, so you tell the world about it. And you'll also give yourself small rewards as you go along. But the essential thing is writing your present reality, the desired outcome at the top, up to 5 steps to getting there. Put concrete deadlines and make those steps very concrete and specific. And you'll see what has to be done. And you'll find the one course that you should take, the one thing that you should do. So I'm hoping that this helps you. If it does help you, you can actually learn a lot more from the course that I have about how to get motivated. And if you want, you can just click on the link here and you can go ahead and order that course if you feel it would help you. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much.